it could have been avoided.
Absolutely.
Is the point you are making? You know,
yes, absolutely, yes.
Even though, yes, Mr. Nyesom Wike is the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, even the President on occasion has jocularly referred to him as our landlord, you know, so by extension, you know, just every land there. And by the way, the land that is causing this whole brouhaha, it's reported to be owned by a former Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, retired, which will probably explain why, you know, it was you can't really know from the fatigues unless you are part of them, which branch they're in. It looks like all of them wear fatigues from time to time. But the naval lieutenant, why it was him and not a soldier, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. A naval lieutenant, he's a seaman, isn't he? Yeah, he's a seaman, not a soldier. You know, why he was there, and he was saying that he was standing on orders, that he had his orders. So he was, you know, deferring to his own chain of command that, look, I didn't put myself here. So there are those who are saying that, whereas they might understand Mr. Nyesom Wike's outrage, perhaps there were different ways that has been suggested. Perhaps there were different ways for him to have handled the matter, just very much as you have said. But I don't know, this is a test case, right? Which again is a different thing. This is not something that you usually see around here. But when these figures in uniform, when they want to, you know, just invoke the full power of the uniform, you recall that even in Lagos at one time, at a housing estate somewhere in Magodo, the governor, no less, had gone in there to try and mediate, and it was police in this case, said, sorry, sir, it's not going to happen. I have my orders. Yes. So maybe the ministers and all these very senior, high-ranking officials, there has to be a sort of a protocol. They have to know how to deal with these matters, because what do you expect somebody in uniform to do? I don't know. What do you expect somebody in uniform to do? He has his clear orders. He can be asked, I imagine, who discharged you from those orders? Who let you off? Who allowed you to stand down or to stand at ease, or whatever is the proper terminology? So that is part of the problem. Meanwhile, Minister Wike, I think he just went over there because he was pursuing an aspect of this very land reportedly belonging to the former Chief of the Naval Staff, and something was not completely right there. But people have said that, just as you have indicated, that, you know, there might have been another way of handling it. But the minister is still the minister. And that's the problem right there, isn't it? Because he's in the cabinet. So for a cabinet member to be so shabbily treated, that's a problem. At the same time, the naval lieutenant, he has his orders. So how I don't want to go into who was at fault, but it was a difficult one yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I agree with you. You see, the military, just the way I said, I happen to be a fellow of the Nigerian Army Resource Center.
Okay.
And I know the military, yes, I know the military to be a well professionally trained, disciplined institution. You can't take that away, right? If you want to see any organized institution as we speak in Nigeria at the moment, it's the military. Now, some persons, there have been different narratives out there about what happened yesterday. Some persons said that the officer was at illegal duty or so. But the point they fail to understand is that once you retire as a general in the military, you are entitled to certain numbers of officers and other ranks that work with you till death, right? So the officer there, the naval lieutenant, introduced himself as the security officer attached to the retired naval chief, right? So he wasn't performing an illegal duty. That's the point. Now, you see, there's difference. We're in a democracy. Whether we like it or not, we must uphold the tenets of democracy. Now, and that does not mean that we should take away what is due to an institution and begin to see how to throw it into the bin, right? The point is, I am a problem solver by my training. Whatever happened yesterday, it is not for us to begin to look at sections of the law that this did not happen, this did not apply, and all that. The point is, if there was clear understanding based on the script that I read out here or played out here for you, if there was this professional conversation between the minister and the naval lieutenant, it would have gotten to the level that it got to yesterday, right? And for me, it was just a show of, permit me to use the word show of shame, because it's an embarrassment that institutions of government trying to see how to exercise their authority, their powers, without clear understanding. There was no need for that.
Yeah.
The minister, yes, you cannot take that away. He has the authority over anything that happens within the FCT, in as much as he has power over anything that happens with the FCT. If he discovers that a land is being developed without proper documentation, and he has gotten the information that the land belongs to a retired naval chief, what was wrong with instructing, directing that naval lieutenant? When you live here, I have come here personally to look at what is happening here, and I have discovered that documents are not on my decks to show that the ideal thing with regards to these lands were done. Go and tell your superior that, let him see me in my office. And
exactly.
For a naval chief to be developing a land without proper documentation, I want to begin to, I don't want to doubt it, but the naval chief should know the ideal thing, what is obtainable, what is expected of him to own a land in the FCT, and also go ahead to begin to develop such land, right? So for me, just the way I said earlier, it's just a collision of civil authority against a military protocol, right? So for him to, for the minister to expect that the naval lieutenant will step down the orders given to him, of course, he should have known that it's impossible.
It won't work like
impossible.
that. Let me bring a viewer on. I beg your pardon. Let me bring a viewer on. Good morning, Mr. George, and thank you for holding on. I was just waiting for Dr. Okwori to land.
Okay,
go ahead now.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to the guests.
Yes, good morning.
Uncle Yori, I've been listening to all the commentary since yesterday. I do not agree with those who are blaming Wike for what he did. In human management, there's something called using light to ward off light. It takes a Wike to be able to address that military impunity on ground. I think the blame should go to the naval officer that took somebody's land. It has no official approval and documentation from the ministry, FCT ministry, and it thinks it can deploy his soldiers to fight anybody that comes there. The blame should go to that military, former chief of naval staff.
Yes.
Not
okay.
we say that he's doing his work.
Vice Admiral Awal Garba.
Yes.
Gambo, I beg your pardon. Awal Gambo, retired. Vice Admiral retired. That, you say the blame should go to him. Okay. Well, you just heard that.
Just let me say this, please.
Okay, please continue.
Any other similar cases exist in that Abuja in terms of land disputes? Only yesterday, when this came out, General Puratai, the former chief of army staff, reacted from where he is to support the impunity. That tells me that there are many other similar cases where the military people just use their power to do whatever they like to people without following the rules. That retired naval chief is the one that should take this blame. Everybody has its nature, Uncle Yori. And the nature of Wike cannot be changed by another person. Wike, in my view, is delivering in his job, and he should be allowed to use his nature to give us what we want in that ministry.